Hello, everybody. Welcome to Cynispection again. We had like
Welcome
1
back.
minute break. We do when we review shows, like we try to keep those in like 15 minutes, 20 minutes. But
Yeah.
this one, we just went all in. We had a lot to say about Willow episodes 3 and 4 for some reason.
Yeah, so if you missed it, just go right back and like and subscribe, and you'll be able to find it easily.
Click somewhere else. Exactly. Like and subscribe. We didn't say that last show. So, John, today I think we're going to talk about Henry Cavill leaving the DCU. Isn't that what everybody's talking about?
Which, all right, we're going to take 10 seconds on
10
this.
seconds.
Just 10 seconds. John's 10-second thought. James Gunn came out today and said, sorry, I'm not sorry. You can go away now, Snyder fans. And he said it in a very nice, politically correct response, which you said he didn't even need to say, which I agree with. He didn't need
You don't need
tell
to
people
engage
that.
these people. You don't need to engage these people. In fact, James Gunn,
But
do not engage us. Ignore us.
yeah, exactly. I think that honestly, it's good, and I think that Henry Cavill being out of the DCU is a good clean slate. I think that if you go back to one of our first or second episodes, and I mean we're talking way back before we even started on YouTube. If you go back, then I'm pretty sure I referenced that they need to take like a 5-year break and make movies. Now, that being said, the movie we're talking about today took a 15-year break.
13 year break.
13-year break.
Here's the thing. I mean, again, not to make this into a superhero thing, but like just the genre is falling apart. Like I think people are really close to having enough of these fucking things.
Mm-hmm.
At least in the model that they are now, where they cost $250 million, and they won't be, like they need to make at least $900 million in order for them.
I mean,
to
although
profit.
Avatar has to make $1 billion to be profitable, it's halfway there already after the first weekend, so it's not too bad.
Avatar's gonna be fine because it's an event movie, and we'll talk about why. But like these, like Black Adams and Thor: Love and Thunders and the Batman, like those movies, like it's just like they put so much money into these things, and I don't know.
Well, they're putting so much money into them they're putting so much money into them, and they're releasing 6 a year. And with Avatar, they're putting a ton into it. $1 billion went into making this movie. It has to be in the top 5 highest grossing films of all time to make its money back, or to break even, I should say, which honestly, after seeing it, it is a masterpiece. And I think that it will easily clear the $1 billion mark.
For
And
sure.
I have a feeling by the time that I'm done seeing it, it probably will, it'll surpass any of the Avengers, Infinity War, Endgame, any of those. So
for sure. You know
I have
why?
no issues with that.
You know why? Because Avatar: The Way of Water, which is what this review is actually about, Avatar: The Way of Water is a movie that people want to go to the movies and watch. Like this is an experience, a visual experience. It's a bunch of characters. The story, of course, is familiar. You've seen 35 other movies with the same story. Like it changes little things here and there, but it's basically the structure of a story. It's somewhat predictable in many ways. Like it's almost like a high school movie with the bully needs to earn the respect. Sorry, the kid that's bullied needs to earn the respect of the bullied kids. But there's a reason why you've seen these themes so much throughout history, and it's they work. People like them. Like. People enjoy them. Like I want to watch like a story about family, and this one doesn't feel pretentious. It doesn't feel like it's trying to like of course it has a message about environmentalism and colonialism and many other things, but it doesn't really we say this every week, I feel, but the movie is just a good story that people are going to enjoy watching with their family. Like you can take anybody to see this film. Like you can take your kids, you can take your grandmother, like whoever. Like James Cameron knows how to do this. Like he knows
over and over, and he knows how to nail it every single time. I like how you said this in an event movie. So I was looking for movie tickets to see it, and I had to see it right away because you went and saw it before me, and I was a little sad. And so I was looking for movie tickets, and the funny thing is, if you looked at good theaters, you look at laser projection theaters, you looked at theaters where we're talking about the average ticket price is somewhere between $30 and $35, sold out every single show.
Yeah.
Not even just like sold out. I mean, like sold out all weekend. Um, and even if you look at your local theater, the highest in showtimes, the 3D IMAX, the Dolby Atmos, those all sell out. People are not going to watch this movie in a standard viewing. They're not just going to their local crappy theater to see it. They're not going to watch it at home. This is a movie that you go out and you watch. Like you go to a high-end movie theater to see. And I really wish that Cinerama was still around in Seattle. I would fly to Seattle to watch this. I'm not even joking about how much I would do that. I would get on a plane. You and I would go get some chocolate popcorn and watch it. It is honestly one of the most beautiful movies I've ever seen. Like hands
Yeah.
down, best CGI ever. And
Well, you
it's
forget that it's CGI.
yeah,
You're
it's
like,
so good.
I found
It's
myself
so
like
good.
just yeah, because when you watch like even like these like Thanos or whatever, like these CGI characters in these big movies now. Nothing against Thanos, he looks great, but
Yeah,
you
he does look good.
know you're looking at Thanos. Like here,
Yeah.
it's so blended into like what the movie is that you forget that these blue people don't exist. That you have Kate Winslet in a pajama, like
Hmm.
like playing
Well,
this.
and the
Yeah,
thing is here's a very key difference to the way that other filmmakers make their movies. James Cameron, even if it's CG, he's like, no, you're still gonna act, you're still gonna get in the tank, you're still gonna be underwater. We're not gonna motion capture you and then add a water effect like Black Panther did, right? Which was a whole nother story. Go
didn't
watch
look
our
good.
review.
It didn't
Yeah,
look
go
good.
watch. Yeah, it didn't.
Go watch what review? We didn't review
Yeah,
Black
we
Panther.
review it. We will. Um,
Go imagine what our review would
yeah,
have been like.
yeah, but the CG in
Or
this is,
Aquaman.
or
Aquaman was the
Aquaman,
same.
this is perfect. It looks good because guess what? It was actually shot underwater. There's a reason that studios will greenlight a $1 billion James Cameron film. There is a very obvious reason. There's a reason that they will let him build a three-quarter size Titanic on a giant spit and roll it over
Yeah.
because there are only a few handful of directors that have the ability to actually deliver on these types of things. James Cameron being one of them. Now, one of the funny things is the other director has another movie coming out this year, and his trailer showed before it, which was Oppenheimer, and Christopher Nolan, and he delivers very similarly. He doesn't go CG heavy, and even though Avatar is a very CG heavy movie, every single scene is done or redone, it's still shot using a lot of practical effects. Kate Winslet literally set a world record holding her breath underwater for this movie, right? Funny enough, she beat Tom Cruise for that record. I read that the other day. I thought that was
For
ironic.
example,
Yeah,
yeah. It looks way better. For example, that Tom Cruise scene, the one it's Mission Impossible 5, I think,
yeah.
where he's on. I mean that scene's great, but it the look. Well, this one's supposed to be a kind of water that we don't see on Earth much.
Hmm.
It's special effects do the work, and yeah, it's yeah. There's a certain level of realism within the CGI environment
Hmm.
that just you can feel. Like you can feel what they're trying to tell you, and it's I don't know. It's not a perfect movie. I don't like. I liked it more than the original.
Yeah, I did too,
Which
actually.
nothing as the original. I like the original. I just thought this one felt like a um
So there's a
more complete, broader film. Like
yes, and
overall.
there is a big subplot here that makes a lot more sense, which I guess we can get into this now, is so you find out that these big whale things that they're hunting contain a gland which basically makes humans live forever. It's immortal, right? Like it makes us immortal. And you also find out that the Earth is dying, and that's why they're coming back to Pandora, which we kind of graphs from the first film. You had unobtainium, which was like a metal that they were just going to mine for and take back and whatever. The reason that this I bring up this plot point is it ties into something that nobody real or most film goers and no critic I've read has really tied it this way. But the whole plot of the film is that life and death is a big circle, and without life you don't have death, and yada yada. and that the humans are only going here to get this stuff so that they can be immortal. So the humans that are back on Earth don't understand the way the universe works, basically.
Right.
Like, even though they're able to travel through time and space and all of these other things, and they're able to take and harness this drug to make people immortal, they don't understand like the very simple basics that you have to die, and then that you're reborn, which is
Because you
also
borrow
probably,
energy and then you give it
yes,
back after you die. That's a beautiful thought. I hadn't even thought of it that way. That's
yeah,
amazing. You're absolutely right. That's what the movie's about. But it doesn't hit you over the head with it. It
yeah.
just
It doesn't beat you over the
it
head with it.
closes with that. It closes with that idea. It's spread throughout cleverly over
Hmm.
3 hours of film. Yeah,
Yep.
you're absolutely right. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's it, and that's why I think that this film is really it is really close. I mean, there are some imperfections. Don't get me wrong. 3.5 hour runtime is kind of long. There are some scenes that I thought were meh,
I
but
thought
overall,
the first act, they're sort of playing catch up, like catching you up of
yes.
like they had kids, and visually the first act, I was not tuning out, but I was sort of close to feeling like I don't know because it visually the first like before they go to the what do we call it the reef the
Yeah, the
waterlands
reef.
whatever
Yeah.
before they go
Polynesia.
there yeah,
Which,
right. Before they go there, they're basically in the first movie. Like
yeah.
the battle, even the first action sequence is in where the climax of the first movie happened. So
Hmm.
by then I was like, okay, I know this. Like I've seen this. I've seen these things in the first movie. I okay, fine. Quatrich, the villain, is back. Fine, I know him. Like, what else you got? And then all of a sudden they're like, "This is what we got." Like it's almost like the movie hurt my brain, you know? And
Yeah.
they're like, "This is what we got," and it's like this beautiful, like these scenes on the beach that are just like mind blowing,
I
like
think
amazing.
I think that it's a little unfortunate that it did take so long for this to come out, and because of that, you have a lot of catch up, right? And you have necessary catch up. There are kids that are going to see Avatar, right? This movie's rated PG-13. There are kids that would have been born when this came out, and they're able to see it as a 13-year-old, whatever, at the appropriate rating.
Right, that's amazing. That's
Yeah,
insane. Yeah,
they
no,
would
well, not
never have
only
seen.
that,
And
but,
it's really just, and it is a straight up sequel. There is no like, there's no requeling here. They're not trying to relaunch or anything. It take like you said, it doesn't miss a beat. I think if it would have come out when they had originally intended, what, back almost 10 years ago now, I think the original release date was like 2014, 2015. You wouldn't have needed that additional catch up to kind of like go back over the entire story. Um, but in a beneficial way, you don't really have to see the first movie to watch this either,
no.
which is another beautiful thing from Cameron, because like you can watch, if you go back and you watch Terminator 2, you can watch
Same
Terminator
thing.
2 without seeing Terminator 1. His,
Aliens.
yeah, Aliens, same thing. His movies are all encapsulating, which is beautiful, and no other director can do it like that. They rely on, look at all the other the universes that we've been a part of. You have to see everything to understand. Like, I feel like if you miss a Marvel movie, then you go to try to watch, I don't know, Endgame, you're gonna be like, oh, what?
What the hell is this?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, no, totally. Or the TV shows or whatever.
yeah,
Like, yeah, there's a certain level of confusion. Yeah, this one's like it gives you enough to know what's going on, and then it goes from there. And like honestly, yeah, few people can do something like this. Like there's you know, um, like it they don't make movies like these anymore. Like this is not a movie that's made right now. Like they don't do this. They don't
two
like
directors. There's only two directors that do it, I think, in my
yeah.
head.
I mean, I guess in a way, uh Top Gun
Nolan does
Maverick
it.
was
Yeah,
Top Gun Maverick was a bit of this as well, where it was like a movie of what people wanted to see. Of course, Top Gun Maverick, you knew that the movie was about Maverick bonding with Goose's son, and you knew
hmm,
that they would get to bomb the little thing that they had to bomb, and like you knew this, like of course that's what the movie's about. Like it's not there's no surprises in Top Gun Maverick, but you wanna see it play out because that's the story you like, and it brings a certain level of interest, visual interest, performance interest, characters.
yeah,
that these movies just work. And I think, they keep saying, like, why are these movies like failing at the box office? Like, why did Black Adam fail? And why did, so many other movies like Thor, Love and Thunder? It's like, because like you're not remembering what makes movies, like epic movies, epic.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
because they rely. So the Marvel Cinematic Universe did two great things. It gave us that you can build these universes that are movies that are built on other movies, and they're great. But it also gave us that studios started to rely on just cinematic universes, and they don't know how to build a standalone movie. And somehow Avatar is both a standalone movie and a universe building movie. And I don't know how it has managed to do that because it seems impossible, but they've done a very good job at it. If there was never another Avatar tomorrow, you would be okay with it. You would have a
Yeah, it could
complete
end there.
story.
We could end
It could
there.
end.
We
It
could
could
end
end.
there. That's
It
something
won't.
that Cameron was very clear. It won't, definitely
Yeah.
won't. But that's something that Cameron was very clear on. He was like, yes, there are 5 movies that I'm planning for this thing, but each movie is its own thing,
Hmm.
beginning, middle, end. Like, I guess the only hint of the next movie is that, spoiler alert, but the villain survives. Which didn't happen in the original. That's the only thing. Like, the villain survives. What's going to happen with this?
And it's well, I love that how it ends. He even realizes that Spider saved his Avatar dad, whatever you want to call it. Um, and he's like a son for a son. He's like, I'm taking your son because you took mine. And that to me, that line was so interesting. Like, he took my son, I'm taking Spider's coming with me. He's my son now. Which will be very interesting to see how it all plays out. Uh, you know, in the next movie, which is supposed to be December 2024, I
Right,
think.
2 years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
two
yeah.
years.
I can't wait because Cameron. I doubt the next one will be about the way of water. It'll be about the
Yeah.
way of ice. I don't like. Who
I
knows,
I
right?
saw something, the Seed Bearer or something. I mean, the big intro for this movie, and we can get into it a little bit more, was the girl that was born of nothing. I think that she's the reincarnated version of the Doctor of when they
Well,
can,
she's
like,
played by Sigourney Weaver.
yeah. So I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that she is the reincarnated version of Sigourney Weaver, and when they tried to pair their minds at the tree in the first movie, that was the adverse effect, was it couldn't bind her brain, but her DNA or some part of her got into that, right? And that's how
Well,
she was made.
I was actually talking about this with Ryan and Amanda today or yesterday or something. Um, like Ryan seemed to think there was some sort of mystery about who is her father, but I believe
She
she's
doesn't have
supposed
a
to
father.
be. She doesn't have a father. Like
Yeah.
she's like alien Jesus,
Yeah. Alien Jesus.
right?
Yeah.
Like, I
I
thought she
would,
was.
yeah.
That's why she's so connected to
Hmm. Awa.
Nate, to the
Yeah.
spirit, to Awa. Exactly. It's. I think that's what the movie's telling you. They're not telling you like she's not
Well,
Ray or
Sigourney Weaver's character was originally very connected and understanding of Awa, right? Like,
right.
for a human, she had beyond the capabilities of most humans of understanding how to connect with Awa. And I think when they tried to save her in the first movie, and I could be completely wrong, but I think that they're going to say something like she was connected to Awa, and Awa wanted to save her spirit, and therefore she was placed in the body of, this
Kiri.
avatar. Yeah, Kiri.
Kiri. Yeah, it's interesting because if you remember, like Sigourney Weaver's last line in the first movie is before she dies, is like, "I'm with her now.
Hmm.
She's
Yes,
real."
yes, yeah,
She's like,
exactly.
she's real. So yeah, for sure, she's the daughter of Awa. She's or the again more on the Jesus analogy. She's human Awa.
Yeah,
Uh, through Sigourney Weaver.
yeah.
Great performance by Sigourney Weaver too. Like she was also super cute, super like innocent, but also
Hmm.
like mysterious, smart. I thought she was really, really good. Everybody was
Really good.
great. Like the new character. Like honestly, I was thinking like when does a movie that is about the children of the main character
Good.
like
Yeah.
yeah, that's rare, like I feel like I mean keep mentioning Star Wars, but like I feel like Star Wars episode 1, 2, 3 supposed to be
Yeah.
about the parents of Luke and Leia, but it
Hmm.
feels more like they were like the children of Luke and Leia because they act like children,
Yes. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know and that didn't work very well. And I feel like, yeah, what other movie is about the children of the characters and works as well as this? Like, I don't know any.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is how I know that this works really well is so the younger brother keeps getting into trouble, and I keep getting so annoyed and frustrated. Like I'm actually frustrated with the character. And like some people find that to be, oh, the character's annoying or something. But I look at it and I internalize that and I'm like, I'm that connected into this universe that I'm annoyed. Like that would be my little brother. I have three little sisters and they annoy me all the time, but that would be my little sister. Like
Yes.
she would constantly get in trouble and I would be the one being like, oh my God, like what are you doing? So like
Yeah.
it's that good that the character annoys you. That's a good film, people. That's not an annoying character. That's a very well crafted, well written character.
Yes. It feels like your son, your
Yeah,
brother, your cousin,
yeah.
whatever.
If you
Yes.
can connect on
Yeah.
that type of level, like when a character is annoying because their lines don't make sense, or because they keep switching, or because go
Switch
watch the
to our other
podcast
review.
before this, yeah, switch to
Switch to
our
our other
other
review
review.
for
That's
that.
annoyance. When you
Yeah.
connect to a character so deeply that you're like, oh, why would you do that? You're ruining it for everyone else. That's a good written character. And
Yeah.
this movie is filled with those really well written characters. Um,
Super
so I
well,
mean,
like, yeah, everybody's really well written. Like, that's the thing. Like, okay, the story's not original. It
nope.
doesn't matter. What he does is he puts you in a place you've never been before, and he
Yep.
really makes you feel like you're there. It's not like
Hmm.
he's like, this is what is here. This is what the oceans are like. This is what this planet that doesn't exist is like. These are the characters you're supposed to follow. If
Yeah.
the story's somewhat predictable after that, whatever, man. It
Yeah.
doesn't
I
matter.
mean,
Because I'm enjoying the
was
journey
it,
with these
was it
people.
really that? I mean, it was predictable, but it wasn't predictable, right?
I
Like
mean,
you,
predictable is not the right word. I mean, more
yeah, I
like
know what you're saying.
you've seen the story of
Yeah,
again, the outcast, becoming a part of a new
yeah.
culture and learning the skills
I mean,
and
that was the whole
making.
point of the first movie, right? It was Pocahontas in space, and then this movie is
Yeah.
they're the outcast among the other avatars, right? They have weird tails, and they have like skinny arms, and like all of these other things that made them really good hunters.
But also
Um,
like disappointing your dad all the time, and you have
yeah,
a brother who's like does everything right, like, and you're the one that's always making mistakes, and
hmm,
all those things. Like, you've seen, like, it doesn't feel like a completely new idea for a story for a film,
yeah,
but it doesn't matter because I'm living it with these characters, and there's a genuine emotional reaction when the older brother dies. What's the character's name? It's um,
oh, I can't remember. It's
Net
hang
Net
on, I
Net Netayam. Netayam. That's the name.
yeah,
Netayam. Yeah. Um, there's a just genuine, emotional connection. Yeah, it just feels, and the protagonist being like a sort of cocky, kind of annoying character presence in some ways is
hmm,
very 80s. That we keep talking about it, like Maverick is like this, like in the 80s, the main character is taught a lesson through the film. They're likable enough for them to be the main character, but they are taught a lesson through the film, which is what
yes,
happens to the second son. What's his name? God. Loak.
yes, yeah. I
Great,
mean,
great performance, by the way.
all of them were great. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really find a bad performance in the movie. I thought it was pretty funny and overall just like even the weird performances, like the guy from Jermaine Clement or from Flight of the Concords. Usually he's always in such a like funny, non-serious, like jovial role, and in this he played the scientist on the boat. Um, and I love how he struggles with his guilt, and then
Yeah,
his last line is kind of funny. He's like, oh, now who's got the harpoon? So and you just
that
kind of
was very
chuckle a little
good.
bit.
That was very
Great,
good.
loved it. Yeah.
The captain of the boat was a bit of a I felt like he was a bit too cartoony. I think that I would criticize a bit. He felt like he was taken from another movie almost.
Yeah,
Did you feel that too?
a little bit. But I mean, I
Not
also
enough
was
to
sitting
make
there
it bad or
thinking, yeah,
anything.
I was
Yeah.
also sitting there and I was thinking about that because he was probably my least favorite character in the entire movie.
He comes in
Um,
really late, like he takes up the
very late.
screen. Well, it's kind of goofy.
But I don't know what else you would do with that character because you kind of need that, right? Like this person has got to be crazy. They went into space to hunt whales that are armored whales to be able to like suck an ounce of this stuff out of them to make humans live forever. Like you would expect kind of a crazy person to be doing that, right? To run a ship like that. And he seems kind of like a fisherman.
Yes, and then his arm is cut off, which
And then his
is
arm is cut off, which is
yeah,
awesome. One of my
yeah,
favorite scenes of the movie, honestly.
yeah.
That
So
that
look,
that whole final battle was amazing.
overall, great film. I wish I'm sure this movie will make the money that it needs to make for and then Avatar three at least will come out. If they only make three, fine. If they make five, that'd be awesome.
They're gonna
So
make five.
hopefully, yeah,
100% they will be making five. This movie already did like 500 million at the box office its opening weekend. Um, I don't think that James Cameron would have signed on if they wouldn't have agreed to make all of them, honestly.
and there's a few things that they sort of did in this one to sort of like you can tell that he was like, I'll do this in the next film. Like for example,
Hmm.
Neytiri, played by Zoe Saldana. She's not in this one very much. She's not in it that much. She's sort of cut for. I'm sure her movie will be the next one.
Well, also,
Yeah,
wasn't this shot, okay, and correct me if I'm wrong. I was reading that they shot a lot of this like 4 years ago.
yeah, something like
This
that.
was a very long shoot schedule,
Yeah,
and that would have put her dead smack in the middle of shooting for Infinity War and
uh,
Endgame. And then any reshoots would have been in the middle of filming for Guardians 3, which are all going to take precedent over this. I'm pretty sure, as far as Disney's concerned, and this is also a Disney movie. So
yeah,
I'm assuming there might have been some scheduling conflicts that
yeah,
changed things a little bit.
yeah. That's a good point. That's very possible. Yeah, I mean they had to do some things different. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, so we'll see. I mean, hopefully she'll have more time in the next one. I mean, even like Jake Sully, Sam Worthington's character was not in this one as much as he was in the original. Of course, it's an ensemble piece. A lot of it is about his children, about him. Guatrich is in this one a lot more than he was in the original, which I appreciated because he's really good.
Yeah, he is really good.
Kate Winslet, I think, will probably be more in the next few films. I'm sure.
I'm trying to look at who's gonna be
I have it
Guthrie.
here. I mean, everybody's listed right now. Kate Winslet
Yeah.
is not in the second one for some reason, but I'm sure she'll be in it, even if a little.
Oh,
Everybody
you
came
mean in the
back.
third one? Yeah,
Yeah, in the third one.
well, I also think that they don't want to post much about the third one while the second one is out. As far as a lot of times with IMDb, if there's going to be a trilogy, or in this case, whatever you want to call it, a saga, um, they don't want to release characters in future movies because then that might give away if a character lives or dies.
Makes
So,
sense.
yeah, so it wouldn't shock me. I
Yeah,
heard Vin Diesel signed on for
I
one of
did. Yeah,
these.
I did hear that too. I think he's in the fourth one. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
that's
he
gonna be
signed on
really
as well.
weird.
I mean, he's Groot, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, he's being like as difficult to work with as he is.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean that's kind of a pain.
it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
I'm just glad to see old Cameron favorites like Sigourney Weaver and like come back. I wish like Cameron's known for bringing in the same people again and again. So he
Hmm.
loved like he loves Arnold. He loves Bill Paxton, who unfortunately passed away. He loves Michael Biehn, who played Kyle Reese in Terminator, and he was in The Abyss, and he was in Aliens. So I hope he gets a chance to bring more of his favorites back for the next few films.
I'm pretty sure he will. And also, I mean, this just goes into exactly what we're saying. Good directors bring good people back over and over and over. So, with that, go see Avatar like 2 or 3 times. I would highly, highly recommend going to see it in 3D unless you get sick.
Yes.
If you do
Yeah.
get sick seeing 3D, though, this movie was shot at a much higher frame rate, by the way. This is a fun fact. And if you go watch it in laser projection, if you can find one, there's very few across the country. But if you're in a major city, you should be able to find a laser projection and you won't get sick.
Totally
Good
agree.
old fun fact.
Let us know what you think. But yeah, watch
Like and
that.
subscribe.
Like and subscribe. And we'll see you, I think, in 2023.
Sounds good. Bye, everyone.
Bye.